welcome to another meal prep. Today we are heading really hard into spring. The weather is warming up. There's been a lot of wind lately, like really crazy winds here in Nevada. But it has definitely warmed up. And so for meal preps, I wanted to make things that are kind of salady, kind of light for springtime, and so that's what we're going to do today. We have some, I plan on making some chickpea salad. I have a whole bowl of just homemade, home-boiled chickpeas. We also have some potatoes, which I think I'm going to roast or maybe do a potato salad. I wanted to do a noodle salad, so stay tuned and watch what we make today for meal preps. Let's go. In our chickpea salad, so I adapted this idea from, I wanted to combine two types of salads into one. So I am taking chickpeas, and then I'm also taking coleslaw, and then I'm going to mix it up and make a delicious chickpea coleslaw, which is really good, trust me. So that's what we're doing. We have some cabbage chopped up really nice and fine here. It could be chopped a little bit finer, but it should be fine. We've also got our chickpeas, and then now I'm going to grate our carrots. If you have a little grater like this with a little thing, I mean, you don't have to have this, but it's very useful. What I like to do is, instead of grating it this way, I like to put this on my board, kind of just face it away from me, and then I'm just going to grate it this way. For some reason, like the gravity of it kind of helps out, so I like to just grate it this way. It kind of just helps it go a lot smoother. If the butts are good, see, we can use this, okay? So you're gonna cut it about like this size, okay? Meanwhile, Mercy is going to help me make a hemp sauce for our coleslaw. It's going to be so delicious. It's actually one of Trey's newest favorites. So he's going to have that on some lettuce for lunch, and then we'll have leftovers for meal prep. I'm going to add some red onions, and then I will, for some extra texture and crunch, I'm going to chop up some celery. I'm also cutting some lemons for Mercy to squeeze into the dressing. Maybe I should transfer this into a bigger bowl. In this pot here, I have some cashews boiling for some mac and cheese. I found a really good way, and like one of my newest favorite ways to make mac and cheese. It's really good. So I just have some cashews boiling in here. This is going to boil for about, I'd say, 10-15 minutes, just until it's soft. And then here I just have some potatoes that we're going to prep for mashed potatoes. We have a little hand blender here, which we're going to start blending our hemp sauce. And then over here, I am prepping some roasted vegetables. I'm going to add some tofu in here. We are going to be making a Asian-y noodle salad. On this tray of vegetables, we're going to add some frozen broccoli already chopped. We're crumbling some tofu as well, and then we're going to season it with salt. You can also use coconut aminos if you want to, and then I have some sesame oil as well. We're roasting these vegetables at 425 degrees Fahrenheit on convection for about 30 minutes. Now we're just going back to our chickpea coleslaw here. We're just mixing up all the dry ingredients. Then we're going to start off with about, I'd say like a quarter or maybe half of this sauce. Mix it on in. We don't know if we need more, or I really like to just mix it in and then pour more sauce whenever we need. It's meal prep day.
This sauce is so good. It's so tangy. It is so creamy. We're over saucing it because we want to make sure that it doesn't get dry when it sits in the fridge. The longer that you marinate this in the fridge, the better it gets. We're storing this in a glass container just like this, and it's ready for the week.
So I've got our cashews and our cannellini beans in here. We're going to add everything in here.
We are making a base little roux, so to speak, for our mac and cheese.
This is gonna be my little base. It's sort of like a thicker sauce that we're gonna add with coconut milk to make a delicious macaroni and cheese sauce.
I'm cooking the elbow macaroni and also some spaghetti noodles ready to make noodle salad and our mac and cheese. In this pot, I have some coconut milk, just 1 can of coconut milk, and I'm adding this thickened bean and cashew paste. We're going to season with some salt, of course. We're actually adding a little bit of mustard powder, and we're going to give it a stir. Let's add some nutritional yeast and some onion powder to our mac and cheese sauce as well. We're gonna taste this macaroni and cheese sauce and add some more salt if needed. Stir it, add more, whatever that you need until you love the texture of this mac and cheese. I'm also adding some turmeric just because I wanted it to be a little yellow in color, and you can see that the sauce is really rich and creamy and thick. And now it's ready to mix with our elbow macaroni.
Don't worry, I'll taste it for you.
Man, y'all.
Whenever we make mac and cheese, the kids can never resist eating some of this because it is really that good.
Stop!
It's so good. I might just have to give me a little plate of it. Wow.
No.
It's so good. Why are there noodles at the bottom? It's too good. Oh, sorry, Mom, but I have to.
No. Don't forget, whenever you're making mac and cheese, because cheese or like the store-bought because the store-bought cheese or mac and cheese is usually really salty. You kind of, if you want to mimic that, you kind of want to add a little extra salt just to amp up that flavor. That onion powder really brings it all together. It adds that extra umami. And then, yeah, I guess you're having for lunch.
The chickpea coleslaw salad was done, so I'm just tossing it with some lettuce, and then I'm serving that for lunch for Trey. Then I'm getting started on our sesame peanutty noodle salad. I started this dressing with some organic peanut butter and some lemon or lime juice.
That was a big fail. I thought we had some coconut aminos, but we don't, so I'm just gonna add some water and some salt. Hopefully this will work.
In the noodles, I also tossed in all of the roasted vegetables and tofu, and once the sauce is poured in, I'm going to just mix it all up.
It needs more sauce.
I realized I needed more sauce, so I am trying to add some more organic peanut butter and really just try to make another batch of sauce here because the noodles definitely needed it. If we had coconut aminos, this would have been a little bit saucier, but because we don't have it, we just have to kind of adjust and just go without.
This noodle salad is done. We're going to chill it. I could have probably added a lot more vegetables, like I wanted to add some cabbage, but we only have 2 heads of cabbage left, and I don't want to use it all up because we can use it for other recipes later on. We're really trying to cut our food budget down a little bit, so I'm trying to just be kind of frugal this week with the ingredients that I have.
Don't forget, we also had the pot of russet potatoes in the background, which I have boiled. So right now I'm just mashing it with some olive oil, add some salt, and I left some of that water in there. I wanted to make sure that when I mash it and store it, it doesn't get dry. So I'm leaving a little bit of the water in there. Once it was mashed, I'm just adding it to a glass dish, and it's ready to be stored for use for the week.
Okay, so we have a few things already taken care of. Next thing on the list, I want to make sort of a barbecue sauce for our chickpeas. We're going to make a barbecue chickpeas to get it ready for some wraps later on this week. So I'm going to just make a very simple barbecue sauce out of tomato paste, some mustard, some sugar, and we're just going to make a really delicious, simple barbecue sauce. I'm just gonna add this whole 6 ounce can of tomato paste. You can definitely go fancy, you know, add pineapples, add mangoes to your barbecue sauce, saute some onions and garlic, but today I'm just gonna keep it simple because I have quite a few things to do and I may not finish it all. So let me just get this in. I'm gonna take this to the stove and then we're gonna add some water and some seasonings to it.
I'm adding water just enough to make it a saucy consistency. I'm adding some Dijon mustard in here and about a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup of coconut sugar just to start with. Then I'm just gonna mix this up on a stove, add more water if needed, adjust the seasonings. I'm adding some ancho chili just for some smokiness. You can use liquid smoke if you want to. We don't use liquid smoke. I also added some apple cider vinegar, some onion powder, some salt of course, and this is the consistency that I'm going with. I'm going to start off with about half of my chickpeas and toss it with the sauce because I didn't know if I needed more sauce or more chickpeas or if I had enough sauce for the chickpeas. Once the first little half was mixed, I realized, okay, I had enough sauce. Now this sauce, it wasn't smoky as I would like for a barbecue sauce, but it's still so good. It's like a sweeter, not as smoky type of barbecue sauce, and it's actually perfect for our wraps this week.
Now you can bake this if you want to, just put it on a roasting pan and then just bake it for a little bit just to get it crisp, but I think we may just wrap this up whenever we're ready to make wraps, and it is so good. The last time I made some muffins, I really enjoyed using oat flour. It came out so good. It was like the fluffiest, the most delicious. So I'm going to bake something with oat flour again. So I'm just going to use some coconut oil. I think I'm going to use some blueberries. We just have some wild blueberries frozen, and we're probably either going to make a bake or some jumbo muffins again. It was really so good. Let's do half a cup of oil. Then we're going to use some flax seeds. So I just have here some flax. I'm gonna do like let's do 5 flax, which means we need 10 tablespoons of water. It's really not like a big deal if you add extra water. If you use a little too less water, it will be a little too thick. So more water, it doesn't make a difference. Some coconut sugar. We have 1 cup and 2 cups. Check out my whisk. It's all bent out of shape because it's been in the drawers and it is what it is. It still works. The oil and the coconut sugar are all mixed. We're going to add the flax eggs. 30. And then I'm adding a cup of water. To help it rise, I'm going to add 2 bloops or glugs. One of you guys in the comments had advised that we should teach that like a bloop is a teaspoon and then a glug is a tablespoon. So maybe we'll use that. So we're going to do 2 glugs. 1, 2, or 2 bloops. Stir that in. Grace, can you give me the oat flour, please? Now, I don't have an exact recipe, but I'm going to go off of just intuition. I like to call it intuition cooking because I kind of just wing it and I don't know, I just go for the texture that I'm looking for, and that's just how I cook. So this is about 2 cups of oat flour. We're gonna mix it up and see where we're at. Before I do that, I'm gonna add some baking soda. So I have 2 teaspoons roughly. Maybe a teaspoon and a half. Definitely need some more oat flour. So 1. This is a 1/3 cup measure, so I'm adding 3 to make 1 cup. Can you fill that up? Did you wipe down all of the quinoa? So about 3. My oven is done. I have about 3.5 cups of oat flour. I'm gonna start putting my blueberries in. I love the wild ones. This is just the organics wild blueberries. They are tiny and they're so cute. So I have that in here. Oh, there's like nothing even in there. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cherries. You can add some vinegar. You can add some vanilla if you want to. We're gonna try to save money and just not add any. Oh man. Oh. Mercy, you gotta fill that up with water. This is going to go in the oven at 350 for about 35 minutes.
Muffins are done. We are now starting on some quinoa for the quinoa salad. So I just have some soaked quinoa and we're going to add it into a pot, add some water and get it cooking. Now I'm chopping up some vegetables to go with our quinoa salad. So I have some crunchy raw zucchini that I've peeled. You can also use some cucumber if you want to. And then I'm going to peel little strings or ribbons of carrots. And then I'm adding some red onions for some extra crunch. For some herbaceousness, I'm going to add some chopped parsley. I'm going to try to chop this as much as possible. I really don't like very tough, big pieces of parsley, so I'm running my knife through it multiple times to get it as fine as possible, and then just adding that into our big bowl. I'm going to add a combination of 2 limes and 1 large lemon. And then now we're ready for the quinoa. The quinoa is nice and fluffy here. We are going to add this straight into our bowl. When we're making quinoa salad, I like to start with this very warm, almost hot, like just straight out of the pot quinoa, because then all of the flavors and things will absorb into the quinoa. Season this with salt, season this with chipotle powder, anything that you like. And our meal prep is done.
Alrighty, everybody, that is it for our meal prep today. We have, I would say, quite a few meals that we can go through this week. It will definitely help. We have like chickpea salad here. It's like our chickpea coleslaw that Trey really loves. We have our barbecued, marinated chickpeas. We have muffins for breakfast or for snacks. We still have some chickpeas that we have not used or even cooked yet. We have our quinoa salad here. We have some cannellini beans, which also is very nice to have once prepped. Like I said, I was trying to get away from like canned cannellini beans. So this week we cooked our own cannellini beans. I did burn it a little bit, but this is my first time cooking cannellini beans from scratch. And I think next time I do it, we're definitely going to watch how long we cook cannellini beans. We also have some mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, some peanut noodle, oh no, it's like peanut sesame noodle salad here, which is really, really delicious. If we had more time, I would have been able to make a little bit more today, but we didn't have too much time, but that's okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us meal prepping today. We really hope we inspired you to meal prep your next meals. And if you are new, we would love for you to subscribe so we can see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.